Welcome back. Let us practice what you've just learned before the break. Mpho is taking her family to an event. The distance traveled was 60 kilometers, and she has covered the distance in 30 minutes. So now, once more, we need to analyze, as I said. What is given here is the distance. The distance is 60 kilometers. And then the other thing that is given is your time. The time is 30 minutes. Determine the rate at which she was traveling. You may use the formula speed equals distance over time. Give your answer in kilometers per hour, meaning you need to convert your time to hours first before we can calculate. So let us convert our time to hours. There's a clue here to say when you convert your time to hours, divide the minutes given by 60. So now let us convert. We are taking 30 minutes. We divide it by 60. We can press the calculator together just to get the answer. It's going to be 30 divided by 60. The answer we get is 0.5 hours. So now we can calculate. Therefore, to calculate the speed, we will then say speed equals to the distance covered, which is 60 kilometers, divided by the time which was taken, which is 0.5 hours. Then we are going to have 60 divided by 0.5, and the answer I'm having is 120 kilometers per hour. Remember, I said if you have kilometer divided by hour, we can as well divide and have kilometers per hour. So I want to say it is very, very important to convert your time first before you can do your calculations. You don't calculate and later on you want to convert your time. You must first do your conversion, then we can calculate later on. Let us see the next question. The next question, Thembi has covered, it's a follow-up question actually. Thembi has covered 80 kilometers in 45 minutes. Use calculations to determine if she was driving faster or slower than Mpho. For us to do this comparison, we must first calculate the speed that Thembi was driving. So now to calculate the speed that Thembi was driving, because our answer should be in kilometers per hour, once more, we need to convert 45 minutes to hours. Let us convert together. Then we can take 45 and then we divide this by 60. As indicated in the box here. So let us divide together. 45 divided by 60. The answer we get is then 0.75 hours. So now let us calculate the speed together. To calculate the speed, we will say the distance, which is 80 kilometers, and then we divide this by 0.75 hours. So let us divide together. I hope you are pressing your calculator with me. 80 divided by 0.75. What we get then is 106.67 kilometers per hour. So now let us answer the question. The question was use calculations to determine if she was driving faster or slower than Mpho. Then we need to compare it to the speed that Mpho was driving. So what we calculated previously is that Mpho was driving at 120 kilometers per hour. And then now Thembi is driving at 106.67 kilometers per hour. So now we can conclude that Thembi was driving slower than Mpho because Thembi's speed is less than the speed that Mpho was traveling with. So I hope calculation with the distance and time rates will be easier to you because the formula will be given. But what is key, remember to convert your time to hours always. And if it happens that the examiner gives you the distance which is not converted, as well, make sure that the distance is always in kilometers. Let us have a look at the next concept, the complex rates. So when we talk about the concept, the complex rates, basically, the focus is on the consumption rates. We need to find the distance and time and divide it by the liters which were used to travel that specific distance. So remember, when we talk about consumption rates, is the rate charged per unit. So let us have the example. The first example that we have, Tumi has traveled 650 kilometers and she has used 60 liters. Determine the average consumption rate of her car. Then to determine the average consumption rate of her car, we are going to take the distance covered, we divide it by the liters. So in a nutshell, we say for you to calculate the consumption rates, we will just say the distance and we divide it by the liters. So the distance covered is 650 kilometers and then the liters is 60 liters. And when we divide this, we can divide it together. 650 divide by 60. We get 10,83 kilometers per liter. So that is the consumption. So let us have a look at the next example. The next example, Tumi has traveled 650 kilometers and she used 60 liters. Determine the average consumption rate of her car. So to determine the average consumption rate of a car once more, we will take 650 kilometers, we divide it by 60 liters, and the answer is 10,83. It is just what we've done. The next question is, Pabi's car indicates that the consumption rate is 8,1 kilometer per liter. Determine the distance she can cover with 65 liters. Remember, when we determine the distance, we will now multiply. So to calculate the distance, we will then say distance equals to 8,1 kilometer per liter. We multiply this by 65 liters. So we can multiply together. 8,1 multiply by 65. We will then get 526,5 kilometers. Remember, per liter will divide with liter. So the distance that we are having is 526,5 kilometers. Just have a glass of water. I will see you right after the break.